My best friend refuses to get out of bed in the morning.
Because he believes he's bound to fail.
Because school is boring.
Because he isn't smart.
When I was young, I was labeled as smart. Because I could sit in a classroom for 8 hours a day, absorb the alphabet, and do simple math.
Well, my best friend was behind me being chastised for drawing in class. He had a mind that could slay dragons, but he had a stutter. He couldn't memorize a line, and he couldn't focus. So he was automatically labeled as
not worth your time.
Children's his advantage because they didn't get the memo that you have to think like everybody to become somebody.
Athletes look down upon by their parents when they get 100 in gym, and dad says, yeah, but gym doesn't count, even though his chances of passing anything else are slim.
From the day we are born, we've been taught that we are all different.
Different needs, different talents, different abilities.
But when we got to school, we were all taught the same way. We were taught to highlight the important information, but we missed it completely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we were supposed to highlight a child's individuality. You'd rather focus on the way society sees me based on the eccentricity of my hair dye.
Rather than focus on teaching me things I will need in the real world when I graduate from this chapter of my life.
And when asked by our parents how our day was at school, we are tempted to answer
the same as it was yesterday.
Because the discrepancies between each day,
each week,
each year are unnoticeable.
Like the freaking fact that we've been taught the history of Canada for 10 years in a row. Or the fact that, yes, math and French are important.
But no more than art, music, or dance.
You've made clear that the classes in which we all operate alike are the ones that receive your endorsement.
Students compete to be the best and receive awards for academic achievements, but you don't see any of them being congratulated for most progress.
I want to learn about my poetry, not the poetry that gets me an A.
I want to be intelligent beyond the sticker that says smart on my forehead. Athletes want to be labeled for more than just based on the way they play.
My best friend wants to be recognized as an artist, not as a standardized failure.
Because we're supposed to sculpt the minds with pens and creations,
not with whiteout and regulations.
0. A baby boy is born, instantly welcomed by his mother's arms. Doesn't it feel good to be touched? Doesn't it feel good to be loved? His mom kisses his forehead, her tear softly coating his newborn skin. Doesn't it feel good to feel? 1. His first birthday, blue balloons hovering over his superhero-themed party. He had asked for Moana, but Daddy said no. So he plays under blue balloons with his sister's Barbie dolls, silently exchanged for a truck by his mother, because boys don't play with dolls. Doesn't it feel good to feel? 5. After his first week of elementary, his parents receive a letter. Your son has been hugging his friends outside. Please address this inconvenience as soon as possible. Here was a glowing boy, so full of golden adoration that it overflowed out of his body and dripped onto others. Told that his bursting love was inappropriate. Boys don't hug. Doesn't it feel good to feel? 10. Gym class he runs with ecstasy igniting his bright blue eyes. He ran as fast as his legs could take him. He was okay with last place, but the other boys weren't, and the euphoria drained, turning his eyes gray. Boys are fast. Boys have to be the best. Then he cried to his father, only to be pushed away. Boys don't sob. They simply get better. 16. He falls into love so hard that the whiplash makes his yearning fingers tingle with caresses. But his hands, molded by his father into clenched fists with crescent moons carved into his palms, can't possibly be delicate enough to touch her. I love you, whispers flushed cheeks. They get so warm that he wonders if she can feel the heat when she gets close. When she gets close, his eyelashes flutter. I love you as they rest atop one another right before she kisses him. When she kisses him, his lips curl. I love you. His hands slide. I love you. Up her back, his lungs gasp. I love you. His eyes scream, I love you, when she leaves him because his mouth couldn't mutter what his whole body whimpered. Doesn't it feel good to feel? He couldn't cry, not even once. 19. He doesn't cry at his father's funeral either. His mom said she admired him for staying so strong. Boys are strong. Boys don't cry. Boys don't break. 20. He doesn't use his brakes and crashes right into the park tree where he took his first steps, where he raced with his friends, where he had his first kiss, where his mom told him his dad passed, where he crashed his first car, wanting to finally feel something. Doesn't it feel good to feel? 0. A baby boy is born, instantly welcomed by his mother's arms. Will his life end differently?
You once told me that a nightmare would never become a reality.
All its twisted dreams and sickest intentions would never look upon me.
The little girl who rode her bike for the first time
put all her trust into your hands.
But the second you let her go,
her innocence slipped away along with her identity. You once told me
that you would never let me go.
That you would stay by my side and stay in control.
But behind the closed doors, you thought of nothing but yourself.
I became your ticket for your way out. That little girl followed me throughout my life, misled and betrayed.
For you couldn't have inflicted the venom that pierced every inch of my skin.
Smuggled in for a lucrative trade.
What have I done to be titled as a price tag?
I've become someone else's treasure.
A stranger's pleasure.
Unlike no other, smothered in shame.
In front of my blindfolded eyes.
Reveals the face of a man with the darkest soul. You have me for the night.
Do what you please, I won't put up a fight.
If I did, I know it would be my last night.
I believed I could find the open door to the first opportunity towards recovery.
I was wrong. There were physical constraints and emotional ones too.
Pressured like weight on your shoulders.
Played like a marionette.
Used like a doll.
Like I was nothing.
Day and night I suffer the same fate.
Is that what I'm worth? The flames lured me in and threw me into the fire.
I was then left for them to admire.
Do they have any other desire?
Release me from these wires.
Do you think I'll never expire?
Expire. My strings will never be detached.
From the crossbar above my head that possesses dominance over my life.
Pressured with the weight of their implications.
Girls like me
become compelled and influenced.
by the puppet master that looms over my every move.
Girls like me lose every bit of self-control we have left.
We are the prey in their trap.
When can our officers reverse our roles? What freedom are we to find when our restless minds are enslaved under the chains?
I scream, but I am not heard.
I
cry, but I've used up all my tears.
It sells your body.
It sells your soul. They keep you under their control. Forced into
It's a
solicitation.
never-ending clock.
When the clock goes tick,
I have already been bought.
when the clock goes talk,
I restrict my voice from pleading to
stop, tick.
Talk.
Haven't I suffered enough? I gaze upon the lightless sky.
Re-enduring the same lies.
Endless cycles.
Endless nights.
My mind is at its limits.
I cannot see past the night,
I am unable to find that light.
let alone
Myself, my life is corroded by darkness.
What's
left of me? You
You
once told me
that if there was a way in,
that there is always a way out. Well, I'm sorry, Mom, but I can't get out of this one. Not this time.
Beep, beep, beep. Close up.
Starving babies' distended stomachs, bellies swollen like a banker's waistline.
How much hunger can a child swallow? Ironical starvation makes you seem fat?
Why shot? Empty jars of hope, thus devils whisper,
Die, die, die. Don't look away. Do not turn the channel.
Cut to Matthew. His cleft palate paints him as a child monster in his own village.
Look how he spits when he speaks. The other children mock his broken ugly, his fractured vowels.
Do not look away. Quick pan.
To the pungent garbage dump children digging to save their lives as if one bite of trash could rinse their starvation away.
In the same lunch line as the dogs and the rats, watch how birds lay eggs in their hair. Man, it's good protein.
Distracting them from the crows that chirp,
Screech,
hunt,
claw.
like a made-up law, they see those birds.
Cameras surrounding their vision, each one trapped in their minds, a prison. Do not look away.
Focus. Look, cheery children, cut.
We don't need cheery.
We need despair.
Like her.
Zoom in, closer, closer,
I want to see her tear ducts pumping dust.
closer. Her eyes hold a horror.
Do not look away.
We are the paparazzi for the tourists of the poorest. You, the TV tourists.
This is reality TV.
I am your high-def digital conscious. Cut.
Active doctors repairing the detriment.
Cut. And the famine is deceased. Cut.
And the UNICEF boxes are stuffed with satisfaction. I am still here. Slow dissolve.
I collect postcards of poverty, my guidebook, the ruined planet.
My bread and butter starvation. Ask her how her parents perished.
Does she miss her mother's warm touch?
Is she absolutely scared?
Ask again
and again
and again. Wait!
Here it comes.
The teardrop.
The cash is snowballing. Finally, it breaks your heart. Do not look away. Welcome back. The stories that you have just heard are horrifying, and that is the reality for so many children struggling every day just to survive.
Children like 9-year-old Mary, single-handedly caring for her 2 younger brothers who both have HIV. Do not look away. Zoom in. Her dinner, a single bowl of rice.
When you sponsor a child like Mary,
You'll be providing her with food, education, and medical care.
you will be telling her that she matters. Shh,
But don't tell her that in our country, we drop off the poor in food banks.
in houses with fridges overflowing.
Teenage girls starving themselves to death.
Shh, keep your first world sentiments to yourself. You can turn off your TV, but you cannot turn off her pain.
She did not need your sympathy.
She needs the life that your money provides.
We can't afford honesty.
We can't afford to place food on their shelves.
We can't afford stabilities.
We can't afford for their relationships to survive.
We can't afford for them to die, not yet.
We can't afford their poverty, but we can afford our wealth.
So call me the master of misery.
The seller of sorrows.
Call me anything you wish, but please.
Call now. 1-800-HELP-ME. The children are starving.
You say tomato. I say tomato. Screw you, it's tomato.
You say H, I say H. Screw you, it's H.
You say raisins are better, I say chocolate chip is better. Screw you, chocolate chip is better.
You say slam poems are facile. Screw you, c'est difficile.
You say Z, I say Z.
Screw you,
it's Z.
and that's the difference between you and me. I'm just trying to live my life, trying to be happy, and you're trying to assimilate me like it's 1773.
Look, man, you and I seem to like a lot of different things. It's as though our ideals and morals just can't seem to be. No matter how many times you get proven wrong, call it a sophisticated debate, or be it an argument, it's an event that occurs on every single day.
Say what you will.
Don't make me feel dumb.
Say what you will.
Don't drill it into my skull. We may not agree on everything, but that doesn't mean I won't hear you out.
I'll respect your opinion, but you're still wrong. All right, listen here, B. All right, listen here, B.
B?
Why do you always contradict me? Do you want to go to war? This is how it all starts. A disagreement between you and me. Do you want to cause a global catastrophe? You won't change my mind.
You won't, but you
won't. So why even bother trying? You can't force people to change. Just let them have their opinion. Say your idea and let them decide. All this refugee stuff, it's human nature not to want to die. And I'm sorry, but when the choice comes between me or them, I want to live. But that's just my opinion. That doesn't mean I won't hear you out. I'll respect your opinion.
But you're still wrong. Look, man, you can make a point and try to change our opinion, but don't get yourself into a rage. You can't make a free animal used to living in a cage. People get so mad and accuse us of ignoring them. However, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just choosing not to follow you. This is how conflict starts.
We say your ideas, but don't know where to stop. With a push of a button, the world could end. With the pull of a trigger, your life could end. This world's made up of leaders and flaws, but I want you to be my bitch.
So scratch that off my back, buddy.
I got you.
Thank you. And that's the difference between us and them. It's that they know what a slam poem is.
All we did is write a bunch of random stuff down and hope it sounded good, which it did not.
But that's the difference between us
and them.
Well, you guys can sit down and analyze the situation, realize where we can strive for improvement, have debates that last longer and harder than the bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Some of us care about problems while others say they are brutally honest and say they care about refugees as much as their homework. Our opinions just don't coincide. It doesn't mean we're your enemy. It just means we don't see eye to eye. It's a disagreement.
Disagreement.
A disagreement.
A disagreement. It's like a plant.
You can give it love and nourishment, but you can't make it grow any faster.
So stop trying to rush things and let nature take its course.
But besides that, we still have our cool handshake.
Screw you, it's not weird, it's flamboyant.